I thought I'd torture myself for an entire afternoon and attempt to come up with a list of Silver Age 9.8s that sell for under $1,000. This was pretty shockingly difficult to come up with because, if you don't know, most books from the Silver Age don't even have a graded 9.8 copy that exists. The ones that do, even non-key things, no first appearance, no classic covers, typically start at like $1,500. And I mean, the sky's the limit. They can go to 10 grand. They can go past. Throw keys into the mix, and sometimes you're even hitting 7 figures. But I saw one of these at a recent auction go below $1,000. So I challenged myself not to just find Silver Age 9.8s below 1,000, but I forced myself to find Silver Age first appearances that sell for $1,000 or under in 9.8. I honestly was like 4 hours in and only had 5 entries, so I did not know I was going to get a full 10 for you, but I powered through, found them, and I actually have 11 here for you. We're going to start it out with, why not? Let's go for the jugular. Let's go for the most surprising on the list. Thor 132 from 1966. First appearance of Ego the Planet. You know him from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Ego the Living Planet. Now you think, okay, that's a really well-known Marvel character. He even was in a movie. Yes, and yet strangely it doesn't have a sale over $1,000. There are a few 9.8s on the census out there. The current FMV is $750. Let me tell you something. I've owned and submitted and received a few 9.8s from the 60s myself. There's no greater high. It is unbelievably incredible to own or to purchase one of those. It's the hardest thing there is to do. Again, many books, it doesn't even exist. And here we have a pretty major first appearance at $750. I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see a 9.8 being sold for $750, I'm buying that fast as hell. Next is going to be Captain Marvel number 8. This is going to be our cheapest one on the entire list. First appearance of CyberX. This is actually the first one that I set out to find. I said, I bet I can find a Captain Marvel first appearance that's going to be under $1,000. And I did find one. $600 FMV. Now, I do think we've got a more smaller first appearance here, but it still is a 60s Silver Age 9.8 under $1,000, which is extremely hard to find. And I found one, so there you go. Got our first DC entry, Brave and the Bold, 78. One of my favorite and I think underrated Batman Rogues Gallery members, first appearance of Copperhead, and first cover appearance. This is a great first appearance matching up with cover appearance, and yet the FMV is sitting at about $950. Once again, if I ever see first Copperhead show up at auction, eBay, wherever for $1,000, I'm going to be grabbing that insanely fast. I did not expect to find anything Batman related on this list, so that was a massive surprise. How about Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 2 in a 9.8, even with white pages. First Centurious, Noah Black. This is a 1,000 on the dot FMV 9.8. Now, it's funny because issue number 1 for Scorpio, I actually know this because I have one, is about $4,000. So pretty sharp drop off between 1 and 2. Fun fact, the other issues in this same volume are past and even far past $1,000. Interesting that this one got soloed out at $1,000, but hey, it counts. Wow. Next is going to be Showcase 77. I did not expect a showcase on this list, but we got one here. First appearance of Angel and the Ape. They eventually even got their own run. Maybe because it's obviously a lesser collected DC series right there. is going to bring the value down, but I didn't expect it to be under $1,000, but it is. In fact, it's actually about $850. Again, 9.8 hunters, lovers of things that are rare and scarce, a 9.8 of a first appearance in a showcase title. You better believe if I saw that under $1,000, I'd be swooping it up. Daredevil 42, which is the first appearance of the Jester, as well as Origin. Now, before Bullseye and Kingpin, the Jester was his main villain. This was the first bad guy counterpart to Daredevil. In quite a few stories, especially in the 70s, I was really surprised to see this one be one of the ones. Again, a lot of other random Daredevil 12 centers that did happen to have 9.8 values were starting at like $2,000. So this was pretty crazy to find what I think is a pretty significant first appearance for $1,000. Now, it does have a more forgiving white spine. It's not a black spine. It's not a dark spine. So maybe that helps in the cleaning and pressing. And it makes this a more attainable 9.8 than some. I think that's got to play a factor. Other than the first appearance of Ego, this is the most surprising on the list. Incredible Hulk 105, first appearance of the missing link. But if you even ignore the fact that it's a good first appearance, it's a really good 12-cent Hulk cover. I think it has no business being under $1,000. Well, it's actually about $800. Granted, you're not going to see this hit the market. There's not a lot of them. There's only a couple. But when it hits the market, the going price estimates at $800, which, again, like the rest of this list, I would grab up in a heartbeat. That's why you got to watch the market for stuff like this coming through, because some stuff is going under the cracks. Next is Tales to Astonish 98. It's going to be our first appearance of Lord Seth. Great color scheme to this cover, too. And maybe, just maybe, medium level key. Maybe it's a small time key. Regardless, $900 should be what you're paying if this is hitting the market. I mean, for the cover alone, I'd do it. Gosh. Adventure Comics 369, first appearance of Mordru. Dark Wizard right here, which actually became a more prominent character, I think more like in the 80s, 90s. Regardless, this is a known Superboy, DC really in general, and Legion of Superhero villain right here. And a Neil Adams cover. So you definitely wouldn't expect to see it at $1,000, but it is exactly $1,000. Pretty crazy. How about Tales of Suspense 97? First appearance of Whiplash, which is the villain from Iron Man 2. $1,000 on the dot for this one. Perhaps this has a little bit of that first Jester thing where the spine might be a bit of a more forgiving color, and you might be able to get these in 9.8 more than some of the other ones on the list. Regardless, I do think for a major Iron Man villain, and one we have seen in the screen, $1,000 seems like an amazing deal. Last one I'm going to give you, and this is number 11. I could have stopped my torture. I could have stopped this list right here, but I wanted to find one more DC entry, and that probably took a couple hours to find, just to give you one more. I'm glad I did it, because now I know if I see this book, I'm going to hunt it aggressively. World's Finest, 173. First Silver Age Two-Face. Two-Face is a character a lot more prominent now. He was a Golden Age first appearance character, and he wasn't in a ton of issues there. And then there was a large gap of time where he doesn't show up in anything, and he finally gets his Silver Age appearance in a World's Finest book. And a 9.8 fair market value, allegedly, is $800. I would so happily trade to get a 9.8 of this stinking thing. But like the rest of the list, it would be really hard to ever sell them again. These just seem like books that slipped through the cracks. They seem like they shouldn't be this low. So if you guys are one of the ones that has some of these, I think you got an amazing deal. You got something really special there. And you've got one of the select few Silver Age 9.8s that is under $1,000. As a Green Lantern hunter for years and years, a lot of those non-key books in 9.8 start at $2,000. So to see this is pretty mind-boggling. I'm going to go edit this video and then I'm done for the night. I'll see you guys at the next one. Keep on hunting. Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.